Hey, Marcus Watson, MTC Media. Look, I know all the excitement tonight as I've been watching a lot of the post game interviews and stuff. First on ESPN, ABC, Disney, and now here on the NBA channel. And I can say, let's not talk dynasties. It's tougher now than ever to go back to back in the NBA and seven different champions in 7 years, and how this CBA, and really it's more than just CBA. I try to tell people, if you look at the last three CBAs, it was ramping to this parity thing, and that's where we are in the NBA. And that's not this is not the time to say whether you like it or don't like it, or whether you agree or don't agree. It's just where we are in the NBA right now. So with OKC, all this talk about dynasty, I get that they're young. I get that in many ways they're ahead of the curve. But when you look at it, just in the West, you saw what Houston did today. What does Denver do with the new coach and the new front office? Minnesota with new ownership group. And I can go on and on and on. And that's just in the Western Conference. We haven't talked about anything in the Eastern Conference. So I really do think this is just one of those situations where you let, similar to what had used to happen in the NFL. I don't know how much it happens in the NFL now, but just let them enjoy their championship for tonight, knowing that next year, especially this week, we'll see a lot happening this week. Obviously with the NBA draft, and later on we'll get to free agency and those type of days, the new league year. So congrats OKC, but I don't know if we're in an era where we should be talking about repeats. What I think the story is a front office that had a plan and execute the plan, and has a really a post championship set up, whether to deal with the inevitable that you're going to lose some people due to the cap and their contractual demands, so on and so forth. But again, and we've talked about this before, OKC has a ton of assets, and their front office has proven that they can do a very good job with assets. It's not every team in the NBA. Honestly, it's not every team in any sport that can do that. So kudos to their front office. But again, teams are coming next year. Teams going to be loaded next year. Teams are coming. Um, so the story is more of what OKC did to get here: smart trades, smart draft picks, frankly, smart undrafted picks, and the right coach for it. Maybe not the best coach in the NBA, but the right coach for this group, which is what I've said before. I don't know if you've watched before when I talked about the difference between hiring coaches now and hiring coaches when I was a kid was, as long as you had won somewhere, you're considered this veteran coach. We recycled George Karl a million times. We recycled Larry Brown a million times, and they got recycled to places where they really didn't fit in with the roster and other things about the organization. We just said, well, they've won at other places. And that's just not how the NBA works with coaching hirings anymore. There is more of an emphasis on, do we have the right coach for this particular group? Do we have the right coach for this particular front office? Do we have the right coach for this particular governor slash ownership group? And what their timelines are, and what their vision of what a roster should look like is, and all those sort of things. So there's more thought into it. It's not simply, well, this guy's a veteran coach. He's won all these places. He knows X and O's. If they don't win, it's got to somehow be the player's fault. It's not the world that we live in anymore. Front offices are a little smarter than that now. So, but the OKC, congratulations to Alex Caruso getting another title. Congratulations to all of the players off of that team that spent time, and off of Indiana, by the way, that spent a significant chunk of time in the G League prior to getting to where they are, whether that's Caruso, whether that's Pascal Siakam. There's a lot of G League guys on this team. So on these teams that participate in these playoffs and in this NBA championship. So congrats to OKC, but let's chill on the dynasty talk.